believe there's about 10 in Ohio, it feels like.
Yeah.
We've just got the one here.
It's something like that. I'm kind of excited. We actually have a pretty good first game up here right off the bat. Nick Harper, he got top 8 at the Florida Regionals, the last one before this most recent one. So kind of excited for that.
Yeah, it's been a good while coming since we've been able to have a player here like this. So, it'd be nice to see exactly how things go. TJ, you are gonna have to turn that gain back down because I cannot hit myself. Pretty much deafening, and we'll figure that out. Obviously, been a while since we've run a local stream. Things coming in a little bit differently, so having to make on that one and
Much
figure that one
better.
out.
Awesome.
Yep, we'll see how that one's going. I can see that it's still bringing in tone, so yeah, the gain doesn't need to be that high. Alas, a little live troubleshooting. Game should be ready pretty shortly, though. We're very, very close indeed. Dive on in and get these players going. Ended. Fun. Definitely nice to see locals and regionals. Both been at a lot of regionals.
Yep.
So it's always a little bit different at a local level. A lot less on the line. Maximum,
Yeah,
I
true.
believe it's 30 CP.
Yeah, I think it's only 30. Is it capped at 60 this season as well?
I do not know the caps for this season.
I think it's 60.
I don't have to pursue fights in the same way that you guys do.
Oh,
so,
that's true.
I see the
Got it. Honestly, like, I figured me personally, I'd be here on commentary. Bit of experience, qualified for World. There's now.
Yeah, it's one of the Cox family
Yeah.
who do split their time between being up in Ohio, I believe it is for Ashton right now, and then the rest of the family are down here in Florida. So Gwen going up against Nick Harper, player who's been a bit of a staple in the last couple of years.
So, what do you think about this matchup? I'm looking at our Lycan Rock, Fluttermate. I think it's Iron Bundle. We also have Cheat. Harper has Fluttermane, Goldango, Double Ghost with Gyarados. Murkrow, it's Double Flying, Cheat. Nick's team is very aggressive with kind of a Moongus, like a fallback. And Murkrow mostly just enable everything. Gwen's team is also very aggressive because it has Chi-Yu. Both teams have Chi-Yu. You know, Chi-Yu's kind of crazy good for like hyper offensive stuff. And that is kind of the strategy that both these are going for. So I kind of expect to see some explosive gameplay, just like, quickly getting like knockouts. I think that Indeedee will be kind of cool for disrupting stuff, such as the Fluttermane and the Goldango, because it has such high special defense. And it's also normal type, so it's a Ghost. So I can imagine that will make a lot of play. But I think it'll really come down to the... I want to see how that mirror kind of goes.
One thing I think is really interesting on Nick's team is the inclusion of the Gyarados. Well, I've been having this debate with a lot of people recently on where Gyarados fits in the meta. A lot of people are relying on water types to kind of round out the team, round out these cores. And I'm a big Gyarados fan. I think Palafin's getting a little bit too predictable. I do think Wild where Dondozo's taking up too many slots. We'll see how things shake out, but no surprise here, as it's going to be a combination of the Fluttermane.
Alright, so first thing I noticed is that the special attack from Nick on his Fluttermane goes off with the beat. So we do know its choice specs on the Wynn's Fluttermane. So Murkrow is weak to Dazzling Gleam, and so is the, Fluttermane's not, but it'll take a lot of damage from the very Dazzling Gleam. It actually locks out, especially with very explosive, I was saying. Currently I think Gwen's arguably better because Murkrow doesn't really like this, whereas Chi really likes this because it's not going to special defense lowered, whereas it's lowering everyone else's. And very Dazzling Gleam a bunch of damage.
Well, you can do a lot with the Fluttermane. It's really, really important. Get maximum out of that push. And it starts. Cause its problems early. So, the Extrapolarization, no surprise, another one of the fairy types here. Problem got a Tailwind, carried off with Nick. So something a little bit does mean that his Fluttermane is going to be able to move first, and into that Chi-Yu, no Terrestrialization though. No knockout. Does get the special attack drop, which could be big for this.
I think Fluttermane might actually... if it specs with... We'll see. I guess we're going to see instead of Pokemon. There we go. It actually does get the knockout. So Murkrow goes for Tailwind. Very, very good. Alright, I just moved the mic a little bit closer. Does that sound better?
We'll figure that out between rounds here as things are going on. But Gwen picking up a double knockout doesn't really need the help of the cheat damage. Does just need ruin ability to be able to be a down Nick already down to his final two. does have the Tailwind going for him. Most of this Golden Go could try and cause some problems. Throw out a Shadow Ball, maybe try and weave in a nasty. Maybe in the same vein, this guy. You quite offensive. The items there, it's Choice Scarf, and of course, not only by open, but by first. Definitely a dead giveaway. The Tailwind.
So something I do want to know is that because Chi on the board, if you notice, there's not a single this to this make it rain. That's and like obviously T-Tar, very specially defensive and Assault Vest, but still weak to steel. Obviously, a bunch of damage. What I'm kind of thinking here is, I don't really know if Gwen has the resources necessary to stall this Tailwind, given the hyper offensive nature. So kind of just losing both your Pokemon turn 1 was kind of falling into Nick's plan. I guess it really depends on how Goldango really. But we do see the Terra Steel actually coming away. Crystallize, I guess, just, getting a little damage buff. Now it's not weak to Ghost typing. You do see a Dragon Dance. Okay, so that's a very, very proactive play. Recognizing that this Make It Rain, we'll go ahead and just get 2 knockouts here, given the current board, the Chi, bunch of chip. Fluttermane is this, and it actually goes out first. That special attack drop from turn 1 really, and the burn on the Gyarados. That's crazy. So that's very interesting, and the double burn just because why not? And wow, that's actually insane. So Make It Rain comes out. This should knock out both. Gyarados was at +1, but being burned kind of disrupts the board. I guess it really just depends if Gwen's back can handle this this Goldango.
Yeah, and the big thing here is everything's being set up for this Gyarados now to sweep. The burns are going to put a timer on the game, making things a little bit harder for Gwen here. Kind of her 2 versus Nick's 2, but Nick now has the benefit of a Tailwind. Of course, Dragon Dance, Gyarados. So Gyarados, the attack drop kind of nullified a little bit by a little bit harder to try and deal with. But you've got Iron Bundle, and of course, got that Lycanroc. Lycanroc's going to be able to stick around for at least a turn with that foot crash, and Iron Bundle.
Right, I'm kind of looking at this. This is very interesting. With Booster Iron Bundle, you actually outspeed the Gyarados, and you should also outspeed the Goldango, given that we saw the Scarf Chi already outspeeded. So because that condition was met where Scarf Chi was faster than both these Pokemon, that kind of signifies... Actually, no, Gyarados was not at +1 previous. Set up a Dragon Dance, so I guess it'll kind of come down to this turn. Maybe like if Gyarados goes clinch with Waterfall, it's on Iron Bundle, but I think Iron Bundle might be faster. I honestly don't know my speed tier is about Tailwinded Gyarados at +1 speed. So if Icy Wind does come out, then Goldango could feint to a close combat from the Lycanroc, or like a Hydro Pump, Freeze Dry come out and knock it out. But I guess we'll just have to see. It's kind of interesting though. Is what I'll say is that the Lycanroc does not have Protect actually. So it has Endeavor as we saw, and that could be very notable. So Waterfall, like I said, does come out onto the Lycanroc. Let's see if it flinches. First of all, Freeze Dry comes out. I actually don't know if this wins the game, because if Goldango gets off this attack, it might just double knock out, because I believe it's holding the choice specs. I don't actually know if you know right now. Make It Rain comes out, kind of like I was saying. The Waterfall did break the sash from Lycanroc, as we saw, and if this knocks out Bundle, this game is over. So Nick actually clutching that one out, despite the burn. Didn't actually end up mattering, because he just Goldango instead of a good enough position to get rid of the entire team, that Tailwind.
Yeah, I mean, the game really only ran 3 turns, right? And those turns were all set up under Tailwind. So the Murkrow, a Pokemon that's not been very popular over the past few years, definitely pulling its weight up past few months, dropping off after the end of the first set of regulations we got in Scarlet and Violet, coming back and making a big side of Harper there. So setting up the Tailwind was all he needed, and then he was able to clean up the game with.
Perfect. I thought that was very well played. So how do you think they're going to adjust going into game 2?
Honestly, I mean, I think the big thing here is being able to try and maybe bring something a little more stable. Everyone was going just all out offense there, so if Nick's able to mix things up and, that can get read, then it's going to be a difficult one. But both trainers really just leaning into these hyper-offensive options. Don't see stepping away from that.
So what were your thoughts on the Murkrow as a lead there? Because even though it feinted turn 1, you thought it was kind of bags, so you lost both Pokemon. Literally, if I was Nick, I lost both my Pokemon turn 1, I would have been like, oh shoot. But then his back was just so solid, the Goldango just came in, just kind of just into the game within 2 turns was it? Just got 2 Make It Rains, great game. So what do you think? Do you think Nick will change out the Murkrow lead? Do you think he's gonna stay with that? Just exact same thing?
Yeah, I think Murkrow stays just because the presence of the Tailwind was so useful there.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to, get that value out of it, get the Tailwind turns. So definitely feels like it value purpose.
No, I wonder. I wonder if Tyranitar will actually come. Think about how it's good into Murkrow, it's good into Fluttermane. You can just go for like a stab rock slide. Maybe you can even go with the other dog, Lycanroc, or something else. But I really like the idea of Tyranitar here because it disrupts that lead. It kind of creates that defensive backbone that you were referring to later, earlier into this conversation. So I really think that Tyranitar could be a great adjustment here from Gwen. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think that might come?
Tyranitar helps out the Lycanroc a lot more. I thought the Lycanroc was just left a little bit out to dry in that last game, so not able to really get the value out of the Lycanroc that you were expecting, and so that makes the difference for me. I think being able to get the Lycanroc working to its fullest just makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, I do want to say Nick could maybe go something with the Moongus. If he decides to be very, very proactive with this, he could try to slow down the game a little bit, anticipating Gwen to go with Tyranitar, and he could add as a Moongus, because that also stops Tyranitar, because it would force Gwen to commit her to her Terra Flying, in which case there's a bit of pushback with that, because you lose your Rock typing, lose your Speed F boost for the Sand, obviously, and you don't really want to be forced to Terra. So I'm very, very interested to see how this goes. She looks like she's very focused right now. She's trying to download the situation, assess it, get a really just get a good feel for this. Because like if I was Gwen, like after I got that burn, that double burn, I would have thought that maybe I could have closed that out with maybe like a Tyranitar on the back instead of a Lycanroc, because it would have been a little bit bulkier. But we actually get right into the game. So we see Murkrow and Gyarados. They change up the lead, and Gwen actually went the exact same thing of Chi-Yu and Fluttermane.
Yeah, I mean, both trainers just committing to the bit, seeing if they'll be able to play out maybe a different end game, because I can definitely see a world where things do take a bit of a turn here. I think there's going to be some adaptations in the Terastallization. Makes a lot of sense, especially because Gyarados Murkrow definitely threatens the Chi-Yu a little bit earlier. Once you get rid of the Chi-Yu, get rid of the Beads of Ruin, and you should be in a great position.
I really do gotta say, like, I like how Gwen's team enables Fluttermane, because, like, normally Gyarados is like crazy high Speed F, but like obviously if you just cut it with just like the Beads of Ruination, that's like it's like a free Life Orb on top of already specs Fluttermane, so your damage output's gonna be like absolutely insane. So I just gotta give like kudos to that. I really like the offensive nature of that. So Gwen actually Terastallizes here into Terra Grass. Presumably she's anticipating a Waterfall from Gyarados, because that's the only super effective move here on the board that could threaten that. So just going for a proactive play to kind of stop that. Nick also Terastallizing. I don't quite know what this is. Okay, so it's into Gyarados, and this is Terra Flying. So Nick going on the offensive. Presumably, if he went for Terra Flying, it's more likely than not to get off a Terra Flying Terra Blast to just do a bunch of damage onto something. More likely than not that Fluttermane, or anticipating this Terra Grass and just going for the read. So we'll have to see. So Tailwind comes out from Murkrow. Terra Blast, you can kind of pick and choose which one you want to knock out here. So let's see. Nick actually read the Terra Grass. That was very, very proactive from Nick, just hard committing to that, knowing that the Waterfall was obviously pressuring the Terra Grass, so just doubling down on that with Terra Blasting it. That was very, very smart. And then Gwen goes ahead and rebuttals back with a Moonblast onto the Gyarados. But like we said, has very high Speed F. That maybe would have knocked out if the Chi-Yu had kept its Beads of Ruin on play. But now it just definitely did not, because Chi-Yu went down.
Yeah, that was a big play there from Nick Harper, being able to read the situation and say, you know what, I think you're going to Terra Grass this time. I think you're going to try and keep yourself safe from the Waterfall that knocked you out in the last game. Guess what? I'm going to go Terra Flying. I'm going to be able to just knock you out turn one. And he's still got the Murkrow, so can apply a little bit of pressure that way. But, got to be feeling good about his board position. The Iron Bundle, of course, will be able to hit the Gyarados super effectively, is always able to do that. But, being able to take that hit from the Fluttermane feels really good. And knowing you're faster than the Fluttermane, too, is pretty important.
Yeah. Also, like something like I do want to say is that we're kind of inside the exact same position as Game 1, right? Except the only thing is that Nick is now a turn behind inside of like the Tailwind wars, because Tailwind came out turn 1 that last turn. Iron Bundle outspeeds the Gyarados because it's not at +1 like it was last time with Dragon Dance. So a Freeze Dry could come out, could knock that out, or an Icy Wind could come out, could kind of disrupt stuff. And then ideally it's like a Moonblast comes out, knocks out the Murkrow. So we actually see a Taunt going out onto the Iron Bundle, presumably to stop future Protects, which I very, very much like that. The Gyarados goes ahead and feints this Freeze Dry, and then Moonblast should come out and connect. So we know his Choice Scarf locked, or Choice Specs locked into Moonblast, and it'll go ahead and Moonblast that Murkrow, knock it out, get out of here. And now it's the exact same thing that we had as last time, except if you notice, Gwen now is up a Pokemon, because last time she lost both of her Pokemon. Or, no, actually, sorry, she's down a Pokemon in comparison to last game. Nick loses both of his Pokemons, but he only has 2 turns of Tailwind this time. Whereas last game he had all 3 turns. So let's see how different it is. If Gwen can maybe stall this out, she can totally win this. If not, Nick will do the exact same thing like he did last game. But what's very notable is that Nick currently does not have access to Terra Steel like it did inside last game. So last game you saw that Terra Steel, that damage output. So if Make It Rain is the move of choice from Nick, assuming it's choice specs, which I don't have the team sheet, so I can't 100% verify that. But if it is choice specs given by the damage output last game, it can only go for that for the rest of the game, and special attack will keep decreasing stage after stage.
Yeah, I mean, being able to just throw out Make It Rain and Dazzling Gleam, though, is probably going to be enough to buy you plenty of time. It could pivot over to the Shadow Ball, right? Shadow Ball's still going to hit the Flutter Mane really nicely. It's still going to do huge amounts of damage. And unless it is going to be something like the Tyranitar in the back, then I don't see a world where Shadow Ball's a particularly awful pick here.
So we see a Protect coming out from Flutter Mane here, actually. That's very, I'm presuming it is choice specs on this Goldango. I think that was very, very good play because we know it's choice specs on the Flutter Mane. So Goldango yourself is not pressured by anything this Flutter Mane can do besides maybe a special attack drop with the Moonblast. But Icy Wind comes out, and Moonblast comes out on the Flutter Mane because obviously you would not want to target that into Goldango. You were hoping for a choke from Nick by not going for Protect. Make It Rain comes out. This should get a double knockout here, and then Gwen is down to her last Pokemon now.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing here is your Flutter Mane's still available too. Yes, your Goldango has lost a little bit of its special attack, but I think it'll be alright, especially because the Make It Rain will, of course, do more damage. Now it is no longer a spread attack. So 2 very frail Pokemon picked away very, very quickly, and you're going to need 2 attacks anyway, so it doesn't really matter how this one works, unless there is some way where, there is going to be this Lycanroc able to outspeed and take out both of them. I just don't see it right now. So with the Tailwind, once again, Nick has just been able to kind of sweep through this game.
There's actually one way. If Lycanroc outspeeds this Goldango, because it's at -1 speed, I don't know if it's bulky, slow, but if he's just max speed, so Rock Slide could come out, could flinch, right? Let's see if that happens. So if this does flinch, we've seen Rock Slide before, obviously. I think the Tailwind expires now. It does not flinch, though, in the first one. He needed that. Or, sorry, she needed that. So that's it. That's the game.
Yeah, a quick 2-0 there for Nick. Playing it really, really well, playing one of these hyper-offensive teams, and just understanding, I think, in both games how important the Tailwind was to him. So getting himself off to a good start here at Locals, making sure to extend the fist for the fist bump. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much a little bit of how things go in Regulation C. You make a mistake early on, and guess what? You're punished for it.
Okay, honestly, I'm a very big fan of HO. Okay, I know I usually play balanced teams, but what I will say is that HO, it has a very special place in my heart because it's very fast-paced, and you have to get the turns right. If you get one turn wrong, you lose the game instantly. So we saw that turn 1 with the Terra Blast coming out onto the Chi-Yu, anticipating the Terra Grass to come out. I thought that was so intelligent because obviously if Waterfall came out, that would have been a completely different game. So, that kind of stuff, I'm a very big fan of those, think on the spot. You got to think quick.
I'm with you. I like hyper offense. I've liked hyper offense for over a decade, and it's like you can win or lose the game in turn 1. It's pretty tragic, but if you win, you're in a great position. So I think it's been a great way to play Pokemon, and now with the Beads of Ruin, with some of the options we've got, Flutter Mane's Iron Bundles, it definitely feels like this is the time for hyper offense teams.
Yeah. Also, something I gotta say is that I don't really know if from what I saw, Ting Lu, I think Ting Lu's very, very good, though. I will say that, because, we're talking about HO. Let's give, the other ruins their credit. I'm not quite sure on Wolchine, honestly. I've seen it a little bit, but I don't really like how it plays too stally. Ting Lu, though, man, that can give you a backbone for a team. You saw it was Chi-Yu, Iron Bundle, Flutter Mane. Obviously, with Ting Lu, you could disrupt that so easily with Heavy Slam on the Flutter Mane. You can Stomping Tantrum. You reduce the special attack output. It's really, really good. So I just kind of want to put some spotlight on that for a little pushback to the hyper offense nature, because it's like we have a lot of variety into this metagame. It's just something you just got to find it. You got to find the gold inside the dirt, I guess.
Yeah, there's definitely some tough ones. But while we wait, we're going to go take a look around the room, see how the rest of the room's going with their games, as that was a very quick one. So we'll be throwing it over to a little break while we wait for round 2 to pop up here in Orlando.
It's good. Thank you.